Hey. Instead of Steve, please like and subscribe. Please click on the Deck Heroes icon. Click on subscribe. 100% free. Well, apart from Blood in, Blood out. Anyway, this is not a clickbait video. I did watch Pep Guardiola's interview, and he was asked about whether he's willing to be England manager. He said that he's not. Long story short, but he did say some other interesting things. So again, I'm not trying to be trying to bait some clicks in any way, but just thinking, listen, England are serious about our football, right? And number one, Southgate was the best paid international manager in Euro 2024, aka the tournament that's just recently finished. And to an extent, you can understand it in terms of his success, two finals and a semi-final, the journey of English football from losing to Iceland, let's say, until that kind of solidity, what he's done off the pitch, on the pitch, and kind of respects amongst the players that you're meant to be managing. They're going to be on far more than 5 million, but I think as a minimum 5 million or to have some kind of, status, some kind of standing when you're telling them what to do. I mean, ultimately the manager's decision is final, but I understand it. Pep Guardiola here, yeah, I think it's on 19 million. Let's just say 20 million. Let's round it up. 20 million. England job pays 5. Would they probably offer Pep Guardiola more money? Probably would. They're going to have the money. They're going to have the cash to do it. Pep Guardiola's season, how many games is that going to be? Minimum 40 odd just for the Premier League. Then you've got the Champions League, and then you've got, the summer kind of things as well. I've been told of saw reports that England manager, about 12 games a year. So yeah, less games, but quality of life. I imagine that Pep's quality of life, is not too bad. But quality of life, if he did want some time out, because he's never going to stay at Man. I'm a Man City fan, and let that out the bag, right? Man City since like forever, since I was at uni in Manchester. That was obviously before. Anyway, yeah, of course he gets well paid. He's a very driven manager, and maybe he won't want to take his foot off the gas, but he is in the final. His contract is nearing an end. I say he's not going to be at Man City forever. He could do this and just say, I'm going to take a year off. 12 matches a year. That is pretty much a year off. What could he add to the England game? Oh my gosh, if we had a manager like this and we understand systems and we get the number two, whoever the number two is, and we just put England managers around him in order to learn his ways and his techniques, and you know what I mean? We could transform our game as we have transformed the Premier League to be what it is today, and that is very exciting. Listen, again, it's not going to happen. In the world where anything can happen, I seriously don't think it's going to happen, but just let's kind of entertain if it did. Again, it would transform our football. I think without much, I think to most people's minds and most people's eyes, is probably the best manager in the world. I'd say it's probably him and Jurgen Klopp. I'm trying to think. I'll probably edge Pep. Klopp is amazing as well. I think, again, as I said in other videos, I know it's a Pep video. I was going to just do a little bit of a left turn to Klopp. I think Klopp's football would be more British and suit us easily. But we do have people who could fit into that Pep system, and it would just transform us, and we'd end up destroying teams. I'm not saying we would have beaten Spain of right now, but we didn't lose by a lot. I mean, we should have done. I'm an Englishman. I'm a proud Englishman. We should have done because of the 70% possession. They dominated the game. I think we had one moment where we scored one goal. Not forgetting the Declan Rice header as well. Not blaming Declan. I think he was marginalised in the system, which was just ineffectual. The 4-4-2 or whatever. Anyway, so I think our players would flourish under that system. Oh man, if we could have Klopp though, I mean, I'd rather have Pep. Klopp is just, and I gotta say, equal first. I was gonna put Klopp in second. Long story short, equal first. Either of those two managers be awesome, and the fact that they I think they've got this article here. I was gonna say the fact that they've got this article, maybe there is something to this Pep thing. There's not, because I see in the interview because Man City are in America right now with their youth team. I think Klopp. So I mean, Pep was respectful enough about not just rubbishing the potential invite or the suggestion of being the England manager, and they say he's been in England for many years now, which in itself is a worry. It's not a settling thing. It's a worry because he was in Spain, and then he was in Germany, and then he's been in England. I don't know if he's been anywhere else. At least I don't think so. What's the next stop? It's going to be Italy, isn't it? Kind of like transforming Italian football. And to be fair, they desperately need him if he was actually minded to go. I don't know if they can afford him. In as much as he used to be, you know what I mean? Italian football's fallen off a little bit. I'm sure there's somebody out there who probably. Anyway, the fact that Pep's been in the country for so many years is probably a signal that he may well leave. You know what I mean? For some kind of fresh challenge. I don't know if the England game or the England manager's job. It's definitely got some prestige to it, even though international football is obviously going to be less so than winning Champions League and then that international Champions League competition, etc. But yeah, don't know. Yeah, I think inevitably he may well. I don't know. I'm not Pep. I'm just thinking it through. Would he rather be, say, somewhere like Italy and just prove himself in all leagues and transform those leagues? And honestly, the service that he's done to Man City and the Premier League, both Pep and Klopp, was a video about Pep. So, we just need to. Everybody needs to thank him, not just because I'm a Man City fan. I want to get everybody to potentially thank a Man City manager, but we know how it is. You know what I mean? There's lots of teams trying to imitate what Man City do, with varying degrees of success. And I think more likely either go somewhere else and prove himself, as long story short, or he'll go back to Spain. And just there's only one destination in there, being a proud Catalan man, and that's Barcelona whenever they're ready. I don't know about the politics about why he left. I think there was a story in the back of my mind about why he actually left, but he's a Spanish man, proud Spanish man. Of course, he's going to go back to Spain at some point. But yeah, I mean, we can dream. We can dream. I just, gosh, especially those first 4 games. Can you imagine the excitement going into like the playoffs and the quarterfinal, semi-final, final with that easy draw we had in 2024 with somebody like Pep Guardiola pulling us around, and he's going to have a plan that can actually beat the trap, and he'll be actually setting traps, and we'd all be excited and dreaming. And eventually we know that we wouldn't have to dream anymore because Pep Guardiola is a winner, and he's, as I said, one of probably the best 2 managers, him and Klopp, in the world. For goodness sake, no, let's not even think about Ancelotti and that. I don't want to throw Ancelotti under the bus, but no way. There's levels to this thing. That's it. Anyway, please let me know your thoughts. I think we're probably going to get the English manager who's going to have to prove himself to be an elite. You know what I mean? And until we kind of get out of that mindset again, I know we were burnt by Sven, Goran Eriksson, and we definitely burnt by Capello, and those burns went deep. So it's probably going to be another English manager who's achieved very little or nothing. We're going to expect him to have all the answers and success at an elite level. In knockout football, we don't get chances, to mould and to bring things along easily. And if you ignore the kind of Spanish example, we basically need to have talent and the plan. And the intelligence, I guess, and the foresight, and I say, I don't want to diss us, but the history of English football managers is just long ball. Is that insight? Is that tactics beyond just kick the ball long and have a big man? I'm not saying we're doing that. Oh gosh, I'm not saying we do that now to the extent that we did, but that Pickford knock it long to the halfway line and say buy fouls by trying to run into traps and get some contact. And thankfully, I had the skill in order to get those free kicks at least some of the time. But it's a trade-off because the defenders don't want you to get away. So in some ways, they'll be happy to give you. It's a mutual kind of benefit for you to not move forwards into a into an attacking position, and they can reset and then wait for you to attack, and then the service resumes if that attack breaks down, which it probably will, and did. What I'm basically saying is, I think we're going to repeat mistakes and have ineffective English managers. Yeah, and an English manager list seems to be a list of one. Really, that Newcastle manager, and if he's not interested, oh my gosh, please don't let it be Frank Lampard. But it probably would be. You don't get his chance. Or it'll be the English under 21s, which I've said in a different video. The English under 21s manager who's been successful, and he's going to be his own man. But the whole idea was that that system mirrors the senior team football, you know what I mean? So there's some continuity, and the senior team has failed. That system has been shown to fail in more or less all of these matches, apart from maybe the first 35 minutes of the first match until they changed up tactics. And then we didn't really see the ball much for the last 55 minutes. And maybe the first half of the Dutch. The Dutch have got equal flaws to what we have, really, in that they play a very open game, and they're going to get destroyed by that system. Similarly, that we've got a very weak, I wouldn't say open system. It's kind of like, 11 men. Listen, we saw the heat map. 11 men behind the ball. Just embarrassing. Yeah, I would. Anyway, long story short, just to wrap it up, I think we would all, well, most of us would love to have Pep Guardiola as England manager, even if we had some kind of deal where Man City would hopefully agree that he manages us for like the 12 games a year or maximum of games a year, whatever it was. Even if we had somebody else who did the friendlies and Pep, under Pep's supervision, and Pep was actually there to manage the meaningful games or a certain amount of games. Listen, we'll do whatever we had to do, please. And I hope the FA are open minded about their approach to Pep and just to try and get him on board, because it would transform our football. We've got a massive, passionate fan base with loads of money who travel around the world to watch England play, same as many other countries, and we'd get behind Pep. I've got absolutely no doubt, and we just want to see some great football. Anyway, that's me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Daddy Steve, please like, subscribe, Daddy Steve, and I'm out.